Wendy's Weight Watcher Journey, and I am Wendy, and I am so happy you're here. If you're returning, thank you for coming back, and if you're just finding me, big welcome to you. I'm so happy you're here. Make sure you like and share and comment, and most of all, subscribe so you can see when I upload new content, whether that's an easy recipe, a car chit chat, it could be some of the monthly collabs that I'm part of. Anyway, you will get a little bit of everything on this channel, even grocery hauls, but most of all, you're gonna get a lot of support. So I'm really happy you're here. Now this morning, we're gonna be making a crock pot breakfast casserole. This is the second time that I have tried to film this. The first time I got sick in the middle of it and had to put it on hold. So I managed to get it finished last time and put in the freezer, but I did not get it filmed. So we're gonna take two on this one. And it is a breakfast casserole that is a great meal prep breakfast casserole. It makes 8 servings, 8 very generous servings, and it's full of yummy goodness. There's no meat in this recipe, so it's a meatless breakfast casserole, but you could easily add a breakfast meat with no problem. I'm gonna make sure that I link the recipe in the description box so you can take your time and write that down so you don't feel like you have to jot it down as I'm talking. But it's really simple, easy ingredients that you may already have most of them at home. I mean, I did. Other than the potatoes, I had everything else at home. So let me tell you what's in it and then we'll get started. So we got a little bit of cooking spray. We've got 4 medium onions that we're gonna slice really thin. We've got 32 ounces, I'm turning my stove down. We've got 32 ounces of mushrooms, cremini, baby bellas, whatever you like to use. A little bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper, some minced garlic, and some rosemary, kind of finely chopped. I'm using dried, but you could use fresh. Some frozen or refrigerated hash brown potatoes, 12 eggs, a little bit of low-fat milk. I'm using 1% because that's what I had on hand. Some Dijon mustard, and some baby spinach and cheese. Now, I could not find just Swiss, so I found a combination that I'll show you that I got at Aldi that I think Sean's really gonna love. This will not be a breakfast casserole that I really eat. Too many eggs bother me, so this has a lot of eggs in it, so I will not be eating this, so this will be all for Sean, which he loves a breakfast casserole. So let me turn the camera down and we will get started. This is super easy. And I'll show you my handy dandy recipe holder. All right, here we go. Let's get started. Super easy. All righty. I've already got my pan heating. So into the pan, we're gonna add our 4 very thinly sliced onions. Okay, get those started. And I used my mandolin to slice my onions just so I could get them really super fine. You could do this by hand if you're pretty good at, slicing onions. I'm just not. I'm a terrible onion cutter, even on the diced version. My family kind of laughs at me about that. All right, make sure to turn that down. I'm going to go ahead and add my mushrooms as well, all of them. Make sure you have a big pan because this will cook down, but it's going to take a minute. It's going to take about 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, hopefully. All right. And while this is cooking, we'll do a little chit chat, so we're not just standing here. All right, we're also going to add, while this is cooking, we're going to add part of our salt and pepper that's going in the recipe. And just when it's all finished, we'll add the rosemary and the garlic. That does not go in while these are cooking down. So let me get these, look, loose mushroom. Let me get these going. All right. And I love that the mandolin sliced these onions super thin. That way I can get them all mixed into this mushroom madness here. Smelling good. Smelling good already. Look, and I have a big container, guys. I'm making a mess already. Alrighty. All right, well, that's kind of cooking before I stir it again. We'll chit chat. Okay, I did not talk about our weigh-in on Thursday, I don't think. If I did, I'm sorry, but I don't think I did. So I wanted to give y'all an update on that. First, for Mr. Sean, he absolutely lost weight this past Thursday. We did not go to our Friends for Weight Watcher meeting. We were just tired. I've been sick. He has worked a lot, and so we just didn't go. We weighed in and we shared our results, but we just needed some rest. I've been super busy in my office. It's Father's Day. I'm running a summer sale in my shop, so it's been a little busy, which is great, but just tired. So Mr. Sean lost 0.8. So he is 7.2 pounds from goal weight. Oh, can you say exciting for him? I mean, it's wonderful. He feels so good. He's looking so good. His clothes are just fitting him so well, and he's having to buy new clothes, and who don't like to buy new clothes, right? So I'm very, very proud of him. He tracks, he doesn't weigh and measure like I do. He's learned to eyeball. I'm more of a weigh or measure kind of girl. But he's just doing so great. And he gets a lot of activity at work, so he gets a lot of steps. He has a lot of weeklies and activities that he likes to tell me about. But sometimes he has like 57, you know. So he really doesn't go over his points ever. I'm just proud of him. He has really, really stuck to it since last September. And to be honest, I wasn't sure in the beginning if he would do it, but I knew that I could support him in doing it. And I knew that if he stuck to it, he would have success with Weight Watchers, because it is a tried and true program. I know we're a little upset with them right now, but the behavior modification, the food modification part of it really, really does work. Okay, for me, I lost 1.8 this week. I'm still within that maintenance window. I did everything that I do every single week, weigh, measure, track. Nothing out of the ordinary that should have caused me to drop, almost 2 pounds. But I'm not upset about it. I'm within that maintenance window, 2 above, 2 below my goal. And really, that's just true maintenance. So I'm just keeping on the straight and narrow, keeping it between the rails, and just enjoying being at maintenance, and it not being, really too difficult for me to do that. So it is possible to maintain once you reach your goal, once you kind of get in your groove and figure out what is going to work for you. So, all right, let's stir, and then we'll come back and chit chat. Oh, I wish I could smell it. It's smelling really good. This is my Pampered Chef cast iron coated pan, and it holds so much. It's perfect for recipes like this that you need a lot of volume. My regular, frying pan or wok type thing would not have worked. It would have been over full. So, let that go a little bit longer. I can bring you back up. All right, I want to ask you guys something. Sean and I splurged yesterday. That's something we haven't done in months and months and months and months. But have you ever had a hankering for something and you were afraid if you didn't go get it, that it might take you off the rails? It might take you kind of down a path that you don't need to be on, like you're eating everything else to try to satisfy that? Well, for a couple weeks now, I've been wanting a Whopper from Burger King and fries and onion rings. I know, it's terrible. I mean, it's terrible. And I don't mean just a Whopper Junior. I mean a Whopper with cheese. The drippy, ooey gooey Whopper with cheese. So, Sean for a long time has been craving Taco Bell. And I don't think he's had Taco Bell in over a year. Maybe. I don't even know. At least since he's been doing Weight Watchers. So, we splurged yesterday. I don't know what our weigh-in will be like Thursday, but you know what? Whatever it is, it's okay, because I have gotten that out of my system. And you want to know something? It was not worth it. It did not taste good. My fries were not fresh. My onion rings were not fresh. The Whopper was really good, but it just really wasn't worth it. And I don't think it was to Sean either to get his what he got from Taco Bell, which I don't remember what it was. I think it was an enchilada, and I honestly don't remember the other two things because I was concentrating on ordering my Whopper. But, sometimes we think we really want these things that are just like way far out there and gonna blow our points bank. I have no weeklies now. I'm like in the whole 10 or 12. But it's out of my system. whatever happens on Thursday, it'll be fine. We're far enough out from Thursday that I think I should be able to recover well, drink enough water, and just kind of, do like I normally do the rest of the week until weigh-in. But tell me in the comments below, like, does that ever happen to you? Do you ever just want something, crazy that you would not normally eat on your Weight Watchers or your Healthy or whatever you're doing? And like, how do you feel about that after you do it? It wasn't that I felt bad that I did it, because I'm able to do it. I mean, we can have anything we want on our eating plans, but some things just aren't worth it. Some things are very worth it, don't get me wrong. But it just wasn't worth it. So tell me, has that ever happened to you? Do you do it periodically? How does it play into your success or frustration with your eating plan? I'm curious to know, because I know that I can't be the only one that does that. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm going to let this cook down because it's going to take a few more minutes, and I don't want to leave you guys hanging on. So as soon as this is cooked and we are ready to put it in the crock pot, I'm going to bring you back and show you the next steps of us, because we've got to make our egg mixture, and then we've got to get it layered in the crock pot. So I want to make sure I show you all of that. So hang tight. All right, y'all, this step is finished. The vegetables are wilted, and let me add the last two ingredients to this, and we will go over to the counter and finish the next two steps. All right, look, let me move the camera a little closer. Let me see if you can see how pretty that is. Look at that. All right, very, very pretty. All right, now what we've got to add is our garlic. We've got a tablespoon of garlic. You can add less or more. I love garlic, so I was not mad about a tablespoon of garlic. All right, and then, oh boy, when that hit the heat, that smells yummy. Okay, and we've got a tablespoon of dried rosemary. Like I said, you could add fresh if you had it, but I didn't have any fresh, so I just went with the dried. Okay. Just going to stir that in, and I'm going to turn the heat off and just let it sit here a minute while we finish the other step. Okay, let me bring you over to the counter. One sec. All right, guys, I had to move the camera so I could get you over here on the counter. All right, in this bowl we have 12 eggs, and to that we're going to add, well, before I do that, I'm going to kind of whip these just a little bit. To that we're going to add 1.5 cups of milk. I'm adding 1% Fairlife milk. You could add whatever kind of milk you wanted to add. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, and we're going to add a little salt and a little pepper. All right, so let me add my milk. This is what's going to go on top once we get everything layered in. Once we get everything layered in our crock pot. All right, let me add my salt and pepper. Get that mixed in and not clumpy. I see some pepper clumps. All right, I'm going to add in my mustard, and then we'll mix that a little bit more. Just want it to be good and combined. Okay. See if I can whip this without making a mess. All right. This can be a recipe that can have, like I said, 8 servings. The original recipe was for 12 servings. If you've got a huge family, if you're going to a brunch, this would be a perfect Sunday morning or Saturday morning breakfast, breakfast for dinner, or like we do, we are meal prepping. Okay, so got that done. All right, set that aside. Now these are the potatoes. I picked these up at Aldi's. They're simply potatoes. They're just shredded, refrigerated hash browns. I like these the best. And then Sean loves cheese. I'm okay with cheeses, but Sean loves all kinds of cheeses. So I found this Swiss and Gruyere, and I think that is going to just really give this just a good punch of flavor. All right, so what we're gonna do, let me move the camera so you can see the crock pot. All right, this is gonna cook on low. The recipe says 6 or 7 hours, but I have already found out that this crock pot cooks a little hot, even on low. So I'm going to cook this for about 5.5 to 6 hours. and we'll see where we're at that point. I'll bring you back, of course, and let you see the finished product. But last time it just cooked a little bit too long. All right, so we need to start by layering roughly a third of our potatoes on the bottom. I've already sprayed my crock with some cooking spray because I don't want it to stick. Okay. So we're just going to do a little layering here. We're going to put our potatoes on the bottom. We're going to put some of our veggie mixture in. All right. Smells really good with that rosemary and garlic. So just kind of evenly spread that out. We're going for about a third, and a third. Okay. All right. That's looking good. All right. Let's see. A little bit more. Okay. And like I said, this recipe is meatless, but you could definitely add a breakfast meat to this. Some crumbled sausage, some crumbled bacon, whatever you would like. Crumbled, maybe some cooked and diced breakfast ham. All right, so now we're gonna add a little bit of our cheese. Just gonna layer that right in. Nothing fancy, no measuring, just kind of guesstimating. Okay. And we're going to add another layer of our potatoes. And Sean said he really, really was so thrilled with this recipe. So this will give us about two weeks worth of meals between this and the broccoli cheddar oatmeal bake that I filmed for y'all the other day. That will give us about 2 weeks, plus all the waffles. So we'll have about 3 weeks of breakfast in the freezer, which is wonderful. I don't really have to think about meal prepping breakfast for just a little while. All right, another layer of our vegetables. Okay. If you don't like mushrooms, you could pick another vegetable. You could add more onions, more spinach, and just leave the mushrooms out altogether. You could probably just, quadruple all the other vegetables. Really, I think any veggie that you would like could go in this. So don't let not liking mushrooms keep you from enjoying this recipe, because I think it's just a good basic breakfast casserole recipe. Just a good base. Okay. Whoop. All right, so now let's get another layer of cheese. Sprinkle that right around. This I get, like I said, from Aldi, and it was the most point-heavy item besides the potatoes in the recipe. But this recipe, if I'm not wrong, is, let's see, I think it's 5 points or 5 bites. I'll go back and double check that and include that in the description box. So we're going to do another layer, just a small layer of potatoes. I'm going to save a little bit for the top. Okay. And then we're going to add the rest of our veggies to that. I know y'all see me use a lot of Pampered Chef stuff. I used to sell Pampered Chef, so I have a lot of their products, and they really are good. I've got a couple friends that still sell Pampered Chef, and I'm going to try to remember to link their sites down below. So if you need anything, you can check them out, because they really do have great products. I just ran out of time and needed to focus on my home business a little bit more, so I quit selling. But I still love and use their products. All right, so that's the last of the veggies. Okay, so let's add our cheese, because the last thing that goes on top is the potatoes. Okay, there's the last of the cheese. And the last of our potatoes just sprinkled on top. All right. Look at that, how pretty that is. All right. That is nice and layered. All right. Let me get a napkin, guys. Hold tight. All right. I want to make sure I clean that off, because I want to make sure I get a good seal. Okay, now, here's the last step. We are going to pour our egg mixture over the top. Okay. There we go. All right. There's my mustard that didn't quite get mixed up enough. That's okay. I'll just whiz it around on the top here. Have a little mustardy top to it. All right. Okay, so that is that. All right, let me get the lid on and then I'll bring the camera back up. All right, let's get this lid on. I want to make sure that that seal is not crinkled up in any way. We want it to get a good tight seal. Okay, and I just love this little crock pot. I love the way the lid gets secured. Okay, so we're going to select low and we are going to put it on, I'm going to say 6 hours. I will probably check it at the 5.5 hour mark and see if the eggs are done and see where we're at with that. But I already know that this cooks hot. So I want to take at least an hour off of it. And I feel like everything will be cooked all the way through. So when this is finished, I'll bring you back and let you see what it looks like finished. And we'll have Sean do a little taste test for you. And we'll get it in the freezer and we'll have 8 servings of breakfast casserole. So have a good rest of your day until I come back. It's really early in the day, so get out and do something for yourself. Take a walk, read a book, just sit and relax. It's Sunday, it's a rest day, and that way we can recharge for our week and just kind of get our mindset right. And I will be back in just a little bit to touch base with you guys. Hey y'all, okay, the crock pot meal breakfast casserole is ready. I'm gonna open the lid and I'm gonna let Sean do a taste test. Let me show you what it looks like. Hang on 1 second, let me bring the camera down. Here we go. Woo, that's hot. Ooh, can y'all see how good that looks? Oh my gracious. All right, let him taste test. I'm gonna bring the camera up while he gets some out and we'll get his opinion. All right, remember I added that different cheese that I did last time. This is Swiss and Gruyere. It is hot, 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 hot. All right, let it cool just a minute so he's not burning himself. But that is a full, I think that might even be more than 8 servings this time. It might be closer to 10. It puffed up a lot this time.
Smells heavenly also.
Puffed up more than last time. Ooh. I don't know if you can tell the difference in the cheese or not. I'm not a cheese connoisseur.
I love it. It's tangy.
Tangy? Okay. Has it got enough seasoning, anything?
Doesn't need anything.
All right, y'all. You heard it from the horse's mouth. All right, so I'm going to let this cool. It's probably going to be a good hour because it is steaming and then it's smoking. And then I'm going to get it put into meal containers and I'm going to get this video edited and the recipe put in so I can send it to you guys. All right, y'all have a good rest of your day and I will see you on our next video, which will be Tuesday, our no tag questions. So stay tuned for that. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your night.